My name's Tennyson Myrick, and I major in actuarial science.
Okay, so today we'll be doing choice 2, the sum product. In H2, we need the individual regular pay. So if you look over to our chart right here, at C, we have the regular rate. So you need all of the regular rate column. And then at E, we have the regular hours. The regular hours go with the regular rate. So you put equals C2 times E2. Right? So you're going to enter that in. Once you click on it, the fill handle is this small cross. And then you're going to drag that all the way down to row 25. So it goes from H2 to H25. And then, as you can see, when you click on it here, it's C3 and E3, and it coordinates and it goes all the way down. So then our next step is to calculate the individual overtime pay. So very similar to the regular pay, we're going to do D2 times F2, and make sure you don't forget the equals. You're going to go down to the little black cross with the fill handle. You're going to hold it down and drag it all the way down to row 25. And as you can see, it corrects the values. So at this point, you should have the employee regular rates and overtime rates and their total calculations. So it says do not touch columns G through K. So you're not going to mess with any of the calculations or the calculation totals. Instead, you're going to go through columns A1 through F25 to make a custom sort. So to do this, at the top, you're going to go to your data ribbon. So at the data ribbon, you're going to click filter. So before you click filter though, select columns A1 through F25. You're going to click filter. At the end of that step, you're going to click sort. Now on here, you can sort the values that you selected by employee week, regular rate, overtime rate, regular hours, and overtime hours. So you're going to sort by week. And you're going to sort these values from smallest to largest. And then you're going to click OK. And as you can see, they've sorted themselves from smallest to largest. Now you're going to add another level to your sort by doing the overtime hours largest to smallest. So back on here, you're going to keep these selected, A1 through F25. You're going to click your sort button again. Now it's going to bring you back to this tab. Now you're going to click add a level in the top left-hand corner. Now you see another sheet come up. You're going to do your overtime rate. But this time you're going to change the order to largest to smallest. Now, of course, you can make a custom list. Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, do your list entries, how long you want it to be. But for this project, we don't need that. So we're going to click cancel. Now you're going to have that largest to smallest. Now, as you can see, we've now created a custom sort. And now you're going to click OK. And there you have it. For this part, this is the part where we calculate the total weekly regular payroll. And this part, we're going to be using columns J and K to calculate this. So we're going to start in J2. So first, we're going to use our equals sum product. And then you're going to click down here. And then it creates a parentheses for you for your sum product. And the sum product function basically just allows us to multiply two columns together and then add up all the results at once. And this is helpful because instead of calculating pay of one employee at a time, we can calculate a full week's payroll in one formula. So the formula I'm about to enter in, it basically says, so we're going to create another parentheses for our argument, right? So the first part is going to say, look for every row where the week number is 1. Then multiply those rows by the regular rate by the regular hours and add all of those together. So now for K2, we will do the same idea, but with overtime columns. So we're going to put our equals sum. Okay, and now that you have it entered in as this, you're going to press enter. And that gives you your week regular payroll and your week overtime payroll. So all we're going to do is go back to J2, highlight the column, and then you're going to get your little cursor and drag it all the way down. Okay, so now to get these numbers to change to the proper week, all we have to do is we're going to start on cell J5. And we're going to change that 1 to a 2 and click enter. And now our value changed. And then we're going to copy this all the way down to cell J7. And then you repeat the same process for the rest of the rows. Process for the weekly payroll. You're going to copy your complete formula all the way down until K25. And then you're going to keep K2, 3, and 4 the same. And then you're just going to change each one and go down by 3. And at this point, we now have the total amount of regular pay and overtime pay for each week. And we will use these problems to create our stack column chart. Okay, so for this step, what we need to do is to create a chart with weeks 1, 2, 3, 4 through 8, right? So what we need to do is go to column J. Now, before we create our filter, as you can see, we have more than 8 values here, but we need to narrow our chart down to 8 values. So any of the duplicates, we're going to take away their formulas. So at the start of a new answer, and now, just like this in column J, you have 1 through 8. Now, for the exact same thing, you're going to do it to K as well. But now you see our chart is broken up. So we cannot create the chart with all the values from A through F still on there. So what we need to do is filter out these blank columns that we have. So we're going to click on A, and then we're going to highlight A through K. And then you're going to go to your data ribbon. You're going to click filter. And now filters have popped up as checkboxes. And now you're going to click off that. Now we're going to go to column J. In column J, we're going to go to the bottom of these filters. This shows all the numbers. We're going to empty out the blanks. And then we're going to click OK. And as you can see, it has reduced our chart to week 1 through 8. Now we just need to select the data for the chart. So you're going to highlight the weeks that we need. You're going to hold down Control, tap on J. Then you're going to tap on K. Now you're going to go to the Insert tab. From the Insert tab, you're going to click Charts. So if you hover over, it tells you what kind of chart it is. For this, we need a column chart. Select on that. Then we're going to select stacked column. Then you're going to click OK. Okay, now that we have our stacked column chart, we're just going to drag that over out the way, and you can make it bigger or smaller so you can see it. Okay, so you're going to go to your chart and click on chart title. Now we're going to rename this payroll by week. Right? So then you're just going to click off that, and now that's in there. Now, one last thing you want to do to your chart, you're going to click this vertical axis values, and then you're going to double click on the numbers. Now, for the options, you're going to go down to the bottom, select number. Now, since this is money, we want this to show as currency. So you're going to click down where it says general, and you're going to click currency. And we're going to take that to 2 decimal places and don't mess with the negative numbers. Now you're going to exit out of this panel. And as you can see, the payroll by week is now by currency and in dollar signs. And that's all for today's video. Thanks.